All right, what's up, people? What's going on? I am still practicing on getting this A10 Mini Pro going tonight. I am not going to have it, obviously, on this one. It's just going to be the same old, what I've been doing the last few episodes. But we got some serious things to go on with this Jagged podcast, and this is kind of where I've been going on right now. Is this podcast is Thoughts with Jessey. I'm going to have some subcategories that are going to be going on. And inside those subcategories are going to be a lot of different sports teams, a lot of different things that are just happening inside the 2021 world and kind of the thoughts in general that I have with this. That's obviously where I came up with the title, Thoughts with Jessey. Here we are. Once again, it's Valentine's Day, and the Blue Jackets played with our hearts last night, as they usually do. We go into the Chicago game right off rip. 3-2 loss in overtime. End up getting a point in a way. So obviously, if you look at the two games that had just happened with the 6-5 win Thursday, and then a 3-2 loss in overtime, they get 3-4, which is big. No matter who you play. If you play, that's what they did with Tampa Bay earlier this season when they played, and Tampa. I mean, when you get 3 points, you actually get more. They got more points than Chicago did with getting that. So just big. Really, it was a dominant game. I felt like that was one of the better games that I've seen the Blue Jackets play this year. Laine in like the first 18 minutes of the game had. Well, I want to say it was more like 3 or 4 minutes left in the first period, but had a sick, nasty goal right off rip to put it up 1-0. About six. It says 6:39 into the first. Literally the little tiny toe drag. It didn't even really look like he shot it. It didn't even look like it was full power, and it just flew to the top left corner and in. Hit pipe in. That was just like a precision, great shooter, elite shooter, not just great. But that's what they got in Patrick Laine when they traded PLD for Patrick Laine and Jack Roselovic. Jack Roselovic has been a really kind of a bright spot, and really, I want to say he's played better than Laine so far. Laine has 4 goals, so that's where you kind of look at it and you're like, they both have the same amount of goals, so 4 each, so 8 goals. Let me pull up the stats here real quick, but I know Roselovic, I believe, has 6. Could be wrong. Could be 5. Roselovic actually has 5 assists, so he has a 9 points for third best on the team. Cam Atkinson leads the team with 12. And he has 5 goals and 7 assists with the three assists the other night on Thursday's game against Chicago. Ends up getting a goal as well in this game to make it 2-1. Decided serial. Make it 2-1. And this was 5 minutes left in the second, so there was still a lot of time. There's a whole third period. Zach Werenski also came back in this game, gets an assist on that. So I always love both defensemen. Seth Jones and the other one as well. But I love getting both defensemen in, getting them getting those points, and just especially since they just a couple weeks ago they were -18 together on the ice. So that will definitely change. That will be better. There's things that are going to happen this year for the Blue Jackets that are just going to get better than what they were. That power play, I do honestly think it is not a bottom 3 power play. This power play is a lot better than what it is looking like right now, and I think that's just saying with having Patrick Laine in there, Jack Roselovic getting a showing that he is a bright spot and could be kind of the leaning edge on this deal, which we'll get into here in a second. But I mean, overall, had a lot of chances. Offensively, they had a lot of chances. Defensively, they were looking great. They were shutting Chicago down. They weren't really letting them get in their zone and get comfortable. They shut them out in the first period. They had a couple tries, couple things that could have gone. And Corby did well. Only even giving up a third goal. I honestly say that is more of momentum just being so low. I wish Corporal Salo would have saved that, but I mean, when you look at the two, it was a 2-on-2, and Nick Foligno stays with Kane. I mean, can you blame the man? It's freaking Kane. Elite shooter, probably is going to take the puck right there. Obviously, that's why he's attracts so much attention. And that's why he is Patrick Kane. He is one of the best because he can find those people open, draw that much attention, and then give it off to the other guy to make the nice play, get the goal. Tips, you got to tip your cap off as a Jackets fan to Chicago. Oh, sorry, I'm scratching my eye there. I mean, overall, you won that game as a Jackets fan. You know that the Jackets probably should have won that game. To get a point out of that, I mean, is a downfall, I feel like, because you could have had the 2 in regulation and they couldn't have given up any to Chicago, and then obviously only getting the point out of what you should have had. What felt like when he scored that second goal with 16-15 into the third, so less than 4 minutes left in the game. Like, it sucks. It's not something that anybody likes. I definitely was hurting and could feel the energy kind of drop from the team and not having fans in there. I mean, obviously it would have been fucking crazy in there. It was in Chicago, so it almost helped the Blue Jackets with that, but obviously it didn't. Freaking Chicago comes back, puts it away, puts it down. Only 35 seconds into overtime. And I want to say this, and I want to say this now. The Blue Jackets, I feel like when they are down, they will lose in overtime in the first minute. When they are going to fight, they will generally get it to the shootout and win. I feel comfortable in the shootouts. I understand that we've lost. I feel like we've lost 2 this year in the shootout. That could just be the one in Detroit that we lost. But overall, I still feel comfortable after that win. I mean, check the standings. We're still 4th. So if you guys don't know, the 4 divisions that have been realigned for everything, they're taking the top 4 in each division to go to the playoffs. So obviously right now you're in the 4, tied with the Chicago Blackhawks. And some people ask, well, they both have 16 games. They both have the same record. Why doesn't it come down to goal difference? Since the Columbus Blue Jackets have a -6, Chicago has a -2. Well, the Blue Jackets are 2-0-1 against the Chicago Blackhawks this year. So that is another big thing to kind of look at for Blue Jackets standpoint, who I believe they were 2-8-1 coming into this year against Chicago in Chicago. So to win 2 games, actually, I think it was just against Chicago in the last 9 years. So coming into this year, which, I mean, it's 9 freaking years. That's insane. That goes back before Yarmo in 2013 to 2011 and 2012 included. But besides the point, but we're still ahead of Chicago. 18 points, tied essentially with the Florida and Carolina for second, along with Chicago. So it's going to be a tight division. Tampa Bay leads with 21 points. But the big thing is games played. So Tampa has only played 13. Florida and Carolina have only played 12. The problem, obviously, having the 4 games played, I essentially would say, and it's more so we have the 4 games that are extra played right now are overtime losses, I would look at. Being 7-5 is not great, but being able to continue to get points somehow in this early season helps. So, yes, we're not right there, obviously, with Tampa, but we're only 3 points out. 16 games in, it's a 56 game. There's 40 games left. 40 games left for the Blue Jackets. Like, there's plenty of time for them to get plenty of points. So yeah, even if you think they could max out at 98, winning 40 games, but I don't think they need 98 points to get in this season. All I think they need to do is try to get about I think if they get about 80-ish, they'll be fine. They'll be in. This division may make it a little bit more difficult, and they might need to be closer. But to think You might need 30 or 40. Like it's gonna be a tough season. It really comes down to see like how we're gonna play against the Florida and the state of Florida, Tampa Bay and Florida. How are we gonna play those teams? Florida, the entire feels like a lot of it's just a Blue Jackets Columbus 2.0. I've called them in the past. What I'm looking at right here with the standings is the Blue Jackets are at -6, which sucks. They're at -6 right now, but they play a lot of 1-goal games. And obviously, I look back at the one blowout with the Stars. That just kind of sucks. But I think the -6 is a little off, and I don't think it shows the full team right now because I believe this is only the 6th game that Patrick Laine has played with the Columbus Blue Jackets. So to say that he has 4 goals, I want to say he has 4 goals and 4 assists. I'll have to go back on that. No, he has 2 assists. So he has 1 assist as a Blue Jacket, which was the 6-5 win when he had the assist on Roselovic. It's goal. But I really want to look at this trade now that I've kind of looked at the standings, down 3. Talked a little bit about the game last night. Felt like it was still a really good game. Thinking about it, but next thing I really want to go into is Cam Atkinson. I really want to talk about Cam Atkinson. Cam Atkinson, lighten it up. Really, we were sitting here. I felt like we were ragging on him when he was trying to get that 200th goal. And I think now he's kind of played the fiddle on us a little bit because he got that 200th goal, and he kind of even said it when he in one of his interviews when they were talking about Scotty Hartnell when he was getting his 300th goal in a couple of years ago, and he was like stuck on 299 for a couple games. Well, then he ended up scoring. Excuse me as I scratch my nose. Oh my gosh, he ended up scoring the 200th or 300th goal, and then the 301 that night. Well, you could kind of see the same thing happen with Cam Atkinson. Maybe not so much than the 2 goals in one night. He gets his 200th goal, and I want to say his 200th goal was the 4-point night. Let me check. Let me look this up again because I guess I'll have to check Cam Atkinson on this. But, I mean, Cam's been lighting it up. He had the 4-point game against Chicago, follows it up with another goal and another assist yesterday. Like, the dude is on fire right now. The dude's got 5 goals this year. The guy's got also 7 assists. The dude's got 12 points. Now, yeah, you may look at the Toronto Maple Leafs and be like, well, they've got 2 guys over, like, I think 3 guys over 20 points this year so far. And I'm like, if I'm Cam Atkinson or if I'm the Columbus Blue Jackets and looking at Cam Atkinson, I don't need Cam Atkinson to be a 50 to 60 goal scorer. All I need Cam Atkinson to do is to be the best Cam Atkinson that he can be and score probably 20. If he scores 30 goals and 30 assists, like, I'll take 60 from Cam every year. Like, even in 82, if he gets 60 this year and 56, I'm down. I'm totally down. I guess I just wonder, like, with some people who complain so much about Cam Atkinson, I don't want to be harping on Cam Atkinson. I know, yeah, like last year, I felt like he did not have a solid year, but like, I just want to say, how many of you could go playing like regular, hit COVID, and then continue a few months later, and then literally take another 3 months off, and then come into the season like with pretty much little to none training camp? And I mean, yes, Cam knows the system and stuff like that, and yes, their legs are probably a little bit more in shape than they typically would coming into camp. But I feel like that would be a lie just saying that, because these guys are professionals. They know how to keep their body in shape, and they know what they need to do. Yeah, they need to get to maybe a little bit further than maybe get under the torch schedule or endurance check, I suppose, before the season. But I really think that this is Cam Atkinson's starting to go off. And now that he's going off, it's really covering up for Patrick Laine, who I don't want to say this is quiet, because obviously in the NHL world, this is very obviously you're going to be listening for Patrick Laine, and you're going to hear about his shot that he had against Chicago yesterday. It will happen. You will see it. It's definitely something that's going to happen. Like, it's going to be shown. He's going to get these shots. He's going to get shots going in. You can see, as in the 6 games he's played now, 6, he has 4 goals. He has 1 assist. I will take that. You're going to tell me in the next 6 games he's going to score 4 or more goals? Take it all day. As a Blue Jackets fan, if I know one player is going to come up with 4 more, pretty much almost a goal the next 6 games, I'm looking to see who's going to get 2, 3, and 4, because these Blue Jackets teams hasn't had a guy like this since Panarin. Now, I think the difference between Panarin and I think Laine is not a finished product. And I don't want people to sit here and think that I'm bashing Laine, or or thinking that I'm blind from what I'm seeing. I don't think Patrick Laine coming in we have to kind of understand that Patrick Laine is 22. Jack Roslovic is 23. Like, these guys are young guys. Like, PLD was a 23-year-old who had played 1 less year in the NHL than Patrick Laine. The biggest thing that I'm going to keep going with is how can we judge 6 games? Like, how can we judge? We were judging, I feel like, 2 or 3 games. Now that he's got 4 goals under his belt, he had 2 and 1. He had the sweet snipe yesterday. I mean, the guy has shown that he has it. And I feel like this is still early enough that he doesn't know the full system. I'm not saying like he doesn't. I think he's starting to understand, because, I mean, yesterday he was only an assist away from getting a Gordie Howe hat trick. Got in a fight like right off rip. The snipe the snipe was closer. The snipe was, I think, 6-7 minutes in, and then the fight was about 4 or 5 minutes left in the first. So, I mean, I was like, man, dang, you're telling me he's got 2 periods to go and he could get an assist for this? Like, God, I mean, I was hoping, but I think also looking at last night is you got to give credit to Chicago's goaltender. I got to pull up his name. I think it's not it's Larkinen, I believe is how you say his name. But the guy he's a rookie, and he is unbelievable. He the few games that I've seen him play this year, I just continuously am amazed by him. I feel like we've only played 4 games now against Chicago, and I'm blown away. It's crazy to see that. Kevin Lankinen, number 32. He's a rookie. Like, the guy was making unbelievable saves last night. Like, to know that, like, there was above 5. There were 5 plus thing, like 5 plus offensive opportunities that the Blue Jackets had to score a goal, to make sure that they were good to go. Like, perfect example that I'm thinking of is Oliver Bjorkstrand, with him sitting there. Oliver Bjorkstrand, when he goes on his knees, he gets knocked down he gets kind of a little bit of a breakaway, takes a shot, then gets like knocked down on his knees, gets the puck back, and nearly gets it in. Then I feel like Del Zotto had nearly a same incident. A little bit slightly different, because his went more to the right side. I know Oliver Bjorkstrand didn't go so much on his knees, but I give it to him. I give him the effort. Both players. Michael Del Zotto is especially just because I feel like he's been a key addition for our defense, even though I didn't feel like we really needed to go out and get anybody on defense. But I definitely like the offense that Del Zotto has brought in. The the guy's an assist machine. He's got 5 assists so far this year. And then I mean, this goes back to the trade. Like Jack, as I look over here to double check like the assist numbers on Delzato, Roselovic has 5 as well. And then you look at Seth Jones, who's been on fire with. He's also been on a point streak because he got one last night. I believe he's still on a 6 or 7 point streak, but the guy has 7 assists right now. Seth Jones, Seth Jones, 7 assists. Good Lord. 7 assists, 1 goal. And I felt like at the beginning of this year that Seth Jones was not slacking, but he was just lacking the Seth Jones like plays, which I feel like the Seth Jones type plays are plays that you're not going to hear a lot about. You talk to hockey players, they'll tell you. Like you talk to coaches, they'll tell you how much Seth Jones means to the Blue Jackets, how much his defense is, how great he is just to go back and forth with different pairings that John Tortorella has thrown at him this year with going with Savard. Obviously, Zach Werenski being the true first line pair, but also getting Gavrikov and Kukin for one game. What I'm really trying to say is like Seth Jones, it just makes those plays look so easy and takes it's just when you don't hear Seth Jones' name, I feel like there's still a lot of times that you should be calling Seth Jones' name. I love his defense. I definitely think obviously his offensive contribution is always huge for this team, and it will get better. As the season goes on, I think a lot of guys are starting to get that. Cam Atkinson is obviously hitting his stride. First off, nobody is talking about this. He's leading the NHL in shorties. He has 3 shorthanded goals, and this guy has 5 total goals. Please, somebody start talking about this. And if I want Cam Atkinson to get 3 more this year, I hope he gets 6. I hope that he gets 6 and nobody comes near him with how many shorties they got. Because I've looked at the stats. It's only 2 other people right now that have 2. There's 51 people that have scored, I believe, shorties. Probably a little bit more than that. But only 2 other people have multiple. Camey's got 3, so I'm excited. I always like having the Blue Jackets have something lead in the NHL. I just feel like the NHL treats them like garbage. I feel like they don't talk too much about the Blue Jackets. I feel like it's because we're just a measly old Columbus, Ohio. What's there to do in Columbus, Ohio? There's a lot to do here in Columbus, Ohio, and I'm sorry. I'm proud of my city. There's always going to be some bad that happens, but there's a lot of good that happens here too. And I'm excited. I hope that this Blue Jackets team is ready as we move in tomorrow. Their game against the Carolina Hurricanes. I think this is another game they got to win. They got to get. This is going to kind of in a already weird season. They've been doing a lot of like double games, so like back to backs. So you'll have one game. You have 2 games against a team, and then another 2 games against another team. So this is only a one-time game. So only 1 game against Carolina at Carolina. And then we will come home Thursday for a 2-game set against Nashville. And then Chicago will also be coming into Nashville and Chicago will be coming through Columbus, starting with Nashville on Thursday, Nashville on Saturday, and then I believe Monday or Tuesday for the Chicago game. But it's a big game. Carolina is the team above us right now. They've got basically this kind of sucks because we play against them and they have 4 less games than us. If we win these 2 games here against them, it's big. That'd be 22, and that would put us against Tampa. As I look at the schedule to see who Tampa is playing, Tampa's playing Florida tomorrow, so they're also going to be playing a game, and then they will play Wednesday. No, not Wednesday. They will be off Wednesday, but they are bound for Thursday then. Yes, they will play the Stars, and Columbus will play Nashville, which is good because hopefully in those 2 wins, hopefully you can get a quick 2 because this is kind of an odd. If you can get this win here, there's no like coming back. They'll have to leave, and we won't see Carolina. Let me double check here on the Blue Jackets schedule, but I don't think they'll see Carolina for a little while. They will not see it till March 18th. It's the next time they'll see Carolina. So hopefully we can do some good. Oh, they'll actually have 4 straight games, 2 in Carolina and 2 in Columbus. But this is crazy. This is kind of crazy. We're gonna have a good time with this. I think this year it's gonna be weird having hockey that like regular season hockey, I should say, and more in April instead of just like that first week, kind of like prepping for the playoffs. But I'm excited. I definitely am really happy with how the Blue Jackets have been playing. I think Jack Roslovic and Patrick Laine have been big additions, and I think they will continue to contribute. I think also really some names that haven't been called on yet. Oliver Bjorkstrand is. I'm telling you, I just think he's going to start doing some things. Kevin Stinlin's been doing some good stuff. He had a point every single game he's played. I want to double check if he got one. I don't think he got one last game. I think that's the first game then. Yeah, it was the first game. Kevin Stinlin didn't get a point this year. So I think that's 5. So 6 games, 5 points still. I mean, the guy's getting points like butter, like just butter, like crazy. Cam Atkinson's been a great story this year. Another guy, Texier. Alexander Texier. I mean, the guys had some good goals, but I really want to see him and Bjorkstrand start heating up. They're on the second line with Max Domi, who really Max Domi, I think, has been starting to show me that he can score and he can do some stuff. But I mean, I think right now the Blue Jackets team has a lot more on the up than so much more on the down. Also going into kind of some of the injuries a little bit. I believe it's only Brandon Davinsky who's on the long term, and then Gus Nyquist, who is out 5 to 6 months from a surgery in November. The biggest thing with that is he could potentially come back like around playoff time, since 5 to 6 months would be right at May. So I would love. Oh yes, our